I'm just reading first. He told me to come up during the opening song. I'll go get it. How many more people do you have? There you
Bye, Ray. Thanks for all your
All right,
help.
thanks for everything.
Have a good night. We'll miss you.
Everything else, Phil, got it.
I got my tuning fork. We're good. Or at least I'm good. I mean, y'all is good.
No, it's not another view.
I just
You notice my view didn't.
Everybody. I want to welcome everybody here this morning. I also want to welcome our streaming friends from around the world. Thank you, Phil, for streaming our services. Some special guests are with us tonight. Rabbi Larry Goldmark and Carol are here. At least I saw. There they are. While I'm making the announcement, this would be a good time to turn off or silence your cell phones and electronic devices. On the bima behind me, I have the Temple Beth Ohr Brotherhood Board. Brotherhood is an active auxiliary of the temple and provides great programs for the men as well as the whole community, such as our delicious Tu B'Shvat falafel lunch and the Yom Ha'atzmaut barbecue. And last week we had the first day of Sunday school, and we set up the cafe and had a wonderful breakfast. If you missed it, try us again in 2 years. Brotherhood next event is Wednesday, October 17th at 6 p.m. Brotherhood is celebrating Oktoberfest, and I am making schnitzel. When I moved to La Mirada, I felt isolated as a Jew until I joined Temple Beth Ohr. I joined the temple in 1987. Rabbi Goldmark officiated at our wedding ceremony for Karen and I. Our children were educated and became bar and bat mitzvah as well as confirmed at TBO. TBO also gives us a connection to the global Jewish community through the Union of Reform Judaism. The URJ is one of the largest Jewish organizations in the world and gives our youth the opportunity to connect with Nifty, attend Litaken seminars in our nation's capital, represents us in Washington, D.C. and in Israel. My membership and support of TBO not only provides me with connection to the Jewish community here in my backyard, but also with Jews throughout the nation and the world through the work of the URJ. TBO's membership in the URJ is one of the budgetary items and allows us to participate in URJ's events as well as help support the great work of reform movement is doing around the world, and especially in Israel. We continue to operate TBO on a very, very lean budget and work hard to control our costs. Membership dues do not pay for all the expenses, which includes compensation to our clergy, teachers, clerical, maintenance, and recurring expenses such as utilities and building upkeep. And our membership and also we pay for our membership in the URJ. To raise more funds to sustain our existence, we have various fundraisers coordinated by the Ways and Means Committee and Sisterhood. High Holiday Appeal is one of our main campaigns to raise funds. Please join me in making a donation to the High Holidays Appeal and help us reach our goal of $54,000 this year. I just heard we have two angels who each family participated $10,000 for our High Holiday Appeal. Thank you. Please join along. Thank you. Help me keep the lights on for the future generations to come. Thank you to Ariel Goldfarb, our cantorial soloist, who has inspired us with her beautiful voice and led our High Holiday Choir, all accompanied by Dr. Ray Irwin. All of your talents and add so much to our services. Thank you. For those who missed services last night, you missed a wonderful performance by our cello accompanied by Dr. Ray Irwin. Thank you, Sandra Paskus, for sponsoring the cellist. On the back of your program is a list of upcoming events. With so many things planned, we are trying our hardest to keep you informed. Please read your e-blast and the beacon or our wonderful website for more important information. For those who parked in the church across the street, please use the crosswalks when crossing the street. I had my monitors monitor, and they noticed at least 3 families who crossed the street. I won't mention who they are. No, I'm just joking. Please use the crosswalks. And I'd like to remind everybody that we do have a handicap ramp. There's no stairs required on the left side of me right now. So please be aware, you don't have to take those streets. You can come on the side, and then there's a ramp coming into our patio, and we'll take you in. I want to remind everybody that the study session is at 1 p.m., and I think the rabbi, gratitude is the topic? Gratitude. And the afternoon service begins at 2:30 p.m. Yizkor and Eli worship services begin at 4:30 p.m. So, Rabbi, when will we be eating? When?
Tomorrow.
Thank you. Again, let me wish each and every one of you a very healthy and happy New Year. And now we continue the Yom Kippur services led by our spiritual leader, Rabbi Mark Goldfarb. Gemar Chatima Tova, everybody.
Gemar Chatima Tova to you, David, as well, and thank you very much. In the spirit of Yom Kippur, we begin with some apologies. Apologies to our present Brotherhood Board, consisting of the gentlemen you see here, David Sain, Art Hess, Howard Levut, Harry Jacobs, and, of course, our own president, David Youngman, as opposed to what's listed in the program. Technology is a wonderful thing, but when you cut and paste, sometimes you cut and paste different years together. So I begin with apologies to our present board, and acknowledgement of the past board of Temple Beth Ohr Brotherhood that we had acknowledged in our programs as well. In addition to, I welcome back Dr. Bob Harris, who will be chanting our Haftarah later. He too, unfortunately, omitted from our program, but he's on the program, as well as a different Torah reader, not Jacob Ballin, but rather Micah Goldfarb. So technology kind of got away from us this year. To quote a past president of this congregation, the holidays were very early this year and caught us a little off guard. Okay, so there. As well, some of you have received, and please pay attention in a couple of weeks on the Wednesday e-blast. We are having an open house in our new home about which I spoke last night, not too far from here, but the address and everything is listed in the e-blast, which will be coming out on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and this will be on September the 30th. The last Sunday in September from 3 to 6 p.m. In the Goldfarb home here in La Mirada. We welcome you to stop by anytime during that time for a meet and greet during the last day of Sukkot. We will be assembling our sukkah on Sunday. Thank you again to our Brotherhood and to our older classmates who will be helping them build our sukkah. We're teaching the youngsters how to build a sukkah. Everything you ever needed to know about life, you can learn from building a sukkah. Pretty much so. With that, Cantor, what's up next? Because you've got my sheet. Oh, very good. Thank you. Yes, very good. Let us take a deep breath as we have traveled from near and far to be together on this Yom Kippur morning. We have a chance to transition to this day. Yom Kippur is known as a Day of Atonement, not the Day of Atonement, because every day is an opportunity. But it is a Day of Atonement, which we have set aside for seeking exactly that. And atonement, the easiest way to spell atonement is to think of the three words that comprise atonement, which is at one mint. At one mint. We pulled ourselves together on this Yom Kippur. When we acknowledge our foibles and mistakes from the past, we are able to grow and to become more. And so we bring ourselves whole on this Day of Atonement, searching out for seeking that one-ment that existed within us. As we look at our past, as we look at our present, we are able to chart our course for the future. May that future be filled with shalom, with one-ment, with wholeness, with contentment and peace. As we greet this day early in the morning, before other thoughts filter into our head, we welcome this with the singing of Shachar Avakeshcha, words from Psalms, words from our tradition, reminding us that early in the morning, when the mind is fresh, this is the day, this is the time to greet the day. This is the time to encounter God. This is the time to be together. Shachar Avakeshcha.
לפני תיטב זמרת אנוש, על כן נודח ועוד תהיה נשמת אלוה בי. הנני מלך תיטב זמרת אנוש, על כן נודח ועוד תהיה נשמת אלוה בי.
Our service continues on page 135.
We thank you, living and eternal one, for morning light, for the breath within us, for strength and life renewed. Now it opens before us, this Sabbath the Sabbath, gift of spacious contemplation, mirror for the soul. May we see our lives reflected in this still clear pool, a day apart, unhurried time, and undivided mind. Give us joy in this day that Israel shares. Give us presence and attention, clear vision, a listening heart. We wake to the morning, we open our eyes, we breathe your name. Our service continues on page 155. Yom Kippur teaches that human beings inevitably fail or sin, but when people turn, they come out stronger. In a relationship between two people, love based on the assumption of perfection on both sides, it is vulnerable to the almost inevitable crack in the mirror. Once flaws are acknowledged and accepted, love becomes genuinely unconditional. Rabbinic tradition claims that Moses broke the tablets of the Ten Commandments on the 10th day of Tishra, that is, on Yom Kippur. The original tablets were fashioned by the divine, untouched by human flaws. But when the people sinned and created a golden calf, God despaired and wanted to get rid of them. Moses was so distressed that he smashed the tablets. It was almost as if the tablets were too pure to be left in human hands. Then came 40 days of working through the heartbreak. Reconciliation and catharsis were followed by 40 days of Moses' law, fashioning new tablets. This set of tablets, the product of hard-won repentance based on realism, forgiveness, and acceptance of others' limitations, would give the Israelites for centuries to come. Such tablets express the spirit of Yom Kippur, when out of our brokenness we became stronger than when we claimed to be whole. Our service continues on page 159. As a blade of your grass in a distant wild field loses a seed in the lap of the earth and dies away, sow in me your living breath as you sow a seed in the earth.
Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basar ish.
Elohai
Our service continues on page 163. Said the Roman procurator Turnus Rufus to Rabbi Akiva, "Whose acts are greater, those of human beings or those of God?" Rabbi Akiva answered, "The deeds of human beings are greater." Surprised, Turnus Rufus asked, "But can you create the heavens and the earth?" Rabbi Akiva replied, "Do not speak to me of what is beyond the reach of humankind. Speak of what is available to human beings." Rabbi Akiva then brought to Turnus Rufus wheat stalks and cakes, raw flax and fine linen. "The wheat and the flax are the work of God," said Akiva, "but the cakes and the linen were made by human beings. Are they not superior?" And so our sages taught, all created things require refining and improvement. The mustard seed needs to be sweetened. The lupine needs to be soaked. The wheat needs to be ground. And the human being needs to be repaired. The world that is given into our hands is still incomplete. Let us therefore go forth and work to make it better. We continue on page 170. We continue on page 177. What color is grass? The hurried eye said green. But following the sheen of spring woods, there stretched meadows, marbled in such hues of yellow, green, red-green, and blues merging, below, between, and above. What color is grass? The thoughtful eye said, love. What color is love? The harried heart said, flame. But following the changing years, there poured prisms of delight, and spectrum flowed out of the name, paling moon, stars, and sun. What color is love? The knowing heart said, one.
Yit gadol v'yit kadash Shemnei Rabban. Ve'alamad yivarach yirutei, ve'yamlich malchutei. Bechaychon u'beyom echon u'bechayedecho bet Yisrael bagala u'vizeman karim ve'imeru Yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei t'kudashah. Le'ela u'le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata.
Our service continues on page 178, as I invite us to rise as we are able for our Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, v'poteach lanu sha'arei rachamim, u'meir enei chachamim lislochato, yotzer or u'vorei choshech, v'sei shalom u'vorei et hakol. Or olam otzar b'chayim, orot meofel amar ve'yehi. Hameir la'aretz v'ladorim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, v'al me'orei or she'asita yefa'arucha sela. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ham'orot. Our praise to you, Adonai, creator of the cosmic lights. Our service continues on page 181.
Those who dwell as scientists or laymen among the beauties and mysteries of earth are never alone or weary of life. Whatever their vexations or concerns of their personal lives, their thoughts can find paths that lead to inner contentment and renewed excitement in living. Those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find reserves of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. There is symbolic as well as actual beauty in the migration of the birds, the ebb and flow of the tides, the folded bud ready for spring. There is something infinitely healing in the repeated refrains of nature, the assurance that dawn comes after night and spring after winter. We continue on page 183.
We may be seated.
You love us by helping us grow. You give us Torah, a ladder for the soul. Words that draw us upwards, every mitzvah, an invitation to climb, forge and kiln and crucible to purify our hearts. You give us Torah. You love us by helping us to grow. We can continue on page 185. We read responsively. You are the one who unites all things, who links the life to life in sacred chain. Our faces are reflected in the creatures of earth. We carry out the sea within us. Our faith is connected to rivers and deserts. Our family in a many-branched tree of life. All beings intertwine in you. All are encompassed in Adonai Ehad. Thus no man is an island, no soul exists apart. To say Ehad is to know this truth, to see the whole world, humankind undivided. Precious and holy are these words we speak. Adonai Ehad. Proclaim we one. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ava'ah. Our praise to you, Adonai, you have singled out your people Israel with love.
Listen. To our God. seated.
Our service continues on page 197. As we continue responsively. Who is like you among the silent, mute and inscrutable? You witness our pain.
Once upon a time, the sea was split, and Israel marveled at God's outstretched arm. How many have cried since then? How many have thrown beneath the waves?
Centuries of innocent blood, lives lost to hunger, war, to cruelty or indifference, and those who died with your name on their lips. And still they perished in distant lands, and still they languish on our chilly streets. Ever silent, hiding out in history, you have your reasons, or so they say. You left us on our own, so let us give you leave. Withdraw into yourself. Withhold your saving power.
Yehuda veYisrael, Goalenu, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Our service continues on page 199. I still don't know whom. I still don't know why I ask. A prayer lies bound in me and implores a God and implores a name. I pray in the field, in the noise of the street, together with the wind when it runs before my lips. A prayer lies bound in me and implores a God and implores a name. To the west when the sun sets, to the east when it rises there, to each spark that it show me the light and make my eyes bright, to each worm that glows in the darkness at night, then it shall bring its wonder before my heart and redeem the darkness that is enclosed in me. We rise as we are able, as we continue with the words of our tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'nehem, Lema'an Shemo be'yahava. Magin Avraham ve'ezerat Sarah.
We may be seated. Our service continues on page 206. On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. Who will live, who will die, who will reach the ripeness of age, who will be taken before their time, who by fire, by water, earthquake, by plague, who will rest, who will wander, who will be tranquil, and who will be troubled. I sat in shul for years reading these words before I realized the answer. The answer to each of these questions is me. Who will live and who will die? I will. Who at the end and who not at their end? Me. Like every human being, when I die, it will be at the right time, and it will also be too soon. Fire, water, earthquake, plague, in my lifetime, I have been scorched and drowned, shaken and burdened, wandering and at rest, tranquil and troubled. That has been my life's journey. Of course, I prefer to deflect this truth. I would much prefer to let the prayers talk about someone else, perhaps the person in the next row. It has taken a lifetime to reveal that defense as a lie. The prayer is not about someone else. It is not about anyone else. It is about me. And it is frightfully succinct summary of my existence. So now I read it again, but this time in the first person. It makes me shiver. I will live and I will die at the right time and before my time. I will wander, but I might yet find rest. I will be troubled, but I may achieve tranquility. This is the central truth of these high holy days. This is what makes them the Yamim Noraim, the days of terror. We are all vulnerable. We continue on page 209. As we read responsively. Today we call it by its rightful name, a day of dread, Norah v'ayom. unwelcome visitor, for we want to live in a sunny world where God is love and all endings are happy. At the start of the year, in the season of truth, comes the day of remembrance. For all we forget and for all we deny. And we all fall on our knees in the depths of our hearts, for we know that the bell tolls, and it tolls for us. We continue on 213. An empty page, an open book, a day of ultimate questions. Will I still be here next year at this time with the ones I love beside me? What is in store for my family? And what will become of my friends? Who will have reason to celebrate? Who will contend with grief? New love, new babies, marriages deepening or breaking apart, prosperity, struggle, reversals of fortune, illness, and health await us. Who will be missing when we gather next? Who will stand apart? Who will be estranged? And who will have joined us, enriching our community? On the edge of the unknown, we tremble. What lies ahead for us all? An empty page, an open book. Nothing is written, and nothing is sealed. Flesh and blood, frail creatures, our lives are fleeting and subject to chance. We read together. Yet this we possess, the strength to persist, to prevail, to comfort one another in the dark. Prayer, right action, a turning toward the good. These gives us hope and help us bear the pain of life.
Rosh Hashanah yikatemu, u'yom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Rosh Hashanah yikatemu, u'yom Yom Kippur yechatemu.
Kama yavrun v'chama yibareun, nifya u'mi yamut, mi v'kitzo u'mi lo v'kitzo.
Rosh Hashanah yikatemu, u'yom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Rosh Hashanah yikatemu, u'yom Yom Kippur yechatemu.
Our service continues on page 215. We read together as we read responsively in the middle of the page. When we walk through a valley of darkness, but find courage to live in the shadow of pain, when we speak about fear with honesty and share what is hardest to say, when day becomes night, but we let ourselves hope, when we feel far from caring and friendship, but let go of pride to ask for help, when in grief we are crushed by the absence of love, but open ourselves to your presence, Our service continues on page 218 with the words of the Kedusha. I invite us to rise as we are able.
כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני
We may be seated. Our service continues on page 221.
Letter to a Humanist. Men and women are the messengers of God. There are neither angels nor emanations, only people like you, in whom God has planted a striving for justice and freedom and peace, inspiration and dedication, and every inward joy are the gifts of God, who makes us equal with equal love and appoints us, every one, God's messengers, and works to bring another springtime to the world. Listen to your own inner conversations. You will learn that when you work for justice, you are bringing redemption. When you work for freedom and peace, you are praying for salvation. When you accept and love another person, the Messiah draws near. We continue on page 223. To be awake is to be alive. We read responsively. One cannot help but be in awe when one contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend the little mysteries of everything, never lose the whole curiosity. Wisdom begins with awe of eternal. We continue on page 227. For righteous Gentiles, our sages teach the righteous of all nations have a place in the world to come. And Scripture says, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples, so let them be blessed, all those who pursue justice and act with compassion, those who give strength to the Jewish people and help to build our future. Cherished families and friends, allies and supporters. With gratitude and love, we give them praise.
Our service continues on page 231.
More than any event since the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, the Holocaust put the notion of chosenness to the test. If the Jews are God's chosen people, why have we repeatedly been the target of the worst excesses of human depravity? Some Jews, both religious and secular, have tried to make the point that the continuing survival of the Jewish people, even after the Holocaust, is proof of Jewish chosenness. For the Zionist, the miracle is the rebirth of the Jewish state after almost 2,000 years of exile. For the ultra-Orthodox, it is the recreation of the shtetl way of life in various places in the New World. And for the semi-assimilated, it is the continuing importance of the Jew in Western culture. I dissent from all of these explanations. The chosenness of the Jews is a mystery. Only God knows the purpose of setting apart an obscure tribe to suffer and to achieve more than could be expected from so small a band on so stormy a journey. All that we Jews can know about ourselves is that after every tragedy, we have always made new beginnings. There is no quiet life for Jews anywhere, at least not for long. The only question is whether one lives among the tempest with purpose and dignity. We Jews know why we suffer. Society resents anyone who challenges its fundamental beliefs, behavior, and prejudices. The ruling class does not like to be told that morality overrules power. The claim to chosenness guarantees that Jews will live unquiet lives. I say it is far better to be the chosen people, the goad and the irritant to much of humanity, than to live timidly and fearfully. Jews exist to be bold. We cannot hide from the task of making the world more just and decent. In a society without law, where brute power prevails, no one is safe. And most often the Jew is the least safe of all. Jews, therefore, must stand up for a society that is bound by human morality and speak truth to power. Please continue on page 235. Your fellow human being is a mirror for you. If there is love and compassion in your soul, you will see the goodness in others. If you see a blemish in another, it is your own imperfection that you encounter. Take careful note of the flaws you perceive in others. This is a lesson for you. They are your own flaws set before you, a reminder of your own spiritual work.
Our service continues on the next page, page 236.
God who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness, teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Help us to serve you truly with purity of heart, for you are the forgiver of Israel. In every generation, granting pardon to the tribes of Yishun, we have no God of forgiveness and pardon but you alone. You are blessed, Adonai, sovereign who forgives our failings and pardons the failings of your people, the house of Israel. You banish our guilt from year to year. You reign in majesty over all the earth. You sanctify the people of Israel and the day of atonement. Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shanato l'Tzion.
Our service continues on page 244. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Baruchenu b'bracha hamshuleshet haketuva b'Torah. Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with the words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses, Miriam, and Aaron, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. Always feel yourselves blessed and protected by God. May always know you live in God's presence all of your days. May your hearts be filled with compassion.
Adonai panav, panav elecha, veyasem lecha shalom, shalom, veyasem lecha shalom.
May you come to see the face of God in the world around you, the eyes of loved ones, friends, and family. May you always know shalom, peace.
Veyasem lecha shalom, shalom. Veyasem lecha shalom. Veyasem lecha shalom.
Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be so. Our service continues on page 247. My child wafts peace when I lean over him. It's not just the smell of soap. All the people were children wafting peace. And in the whole land, not even one millstone remained that still turned. Oh, the land torn like clothes that can't be mended. Hard, lonely fathers, even in the cave of the Machpelah. Childless silence. My child wafts peace. His mother's womb promised him what God cannot promise us. Baruch atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom. You are the Blessed One, eternal source of shalom.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha ba'olam, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al Baruch atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom.
We prepare to take a moment of silent meditation and reflection. No longer reading words written for us, but instead composing our own words. Words from deep within, words from our souls, and words from our heart. To bring us into this time of quietude and reflection, I shared this thought. The hardest part of living is the people we encounter during our journey. And so, Avinu Malkeinu, I pray, help me face those I meet without resentment or disappointment. Help me to see the pain behind their actions, rather than ascribing it to some malice on their part. Help me to see their suffering, rather than my own anger. And in myself, as I struggle with my greatest enemy and my biggest challenge, myself. Give me, O God, the strength to quiet my racing heart and strengthen within me my sense of empathy, and help me to act out of gratitude rather than out of need. Remind me, O God, that each and every time I close my heart to another, I am adding and I am increasing the darkness that is engulfing this world and the people that I love. Help me, O God. Help me to always lead with kindness. And so we pause. Our service continues on page 252 in our Machzorim. Page 252, and I invite us to rise as we are able. Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, help us halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, help us enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings. Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption. Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing. Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayers with love. Accept and embrace them. Avinu Malkeinu, act towards us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours. Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, may the gates of heaven be open to our prayer. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Treat us with tender compassion. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. Let the reading of Torah be like prayer, a meditation to remind us what we strive for, a chant that binds us to the chain of generations. Let the reading of Torah be like prayer, a moment of purest solidarity with our people's hopes and history, an invitation to affirm or dissent, to challenge or believe, to ask why or say amen. Let the reading of Torah be like prayer, flowing like waters that renew the spirit, refreshing and sweet to nourish the soul. Let the reading of Torah be like prayer, every word a blessing, every verse a conversation with God. As I invite our special Torah carriers for this morning to join us on the bima, Tyler Porter, Benjamin Green, Hannah Green, Adam Milhander, and Jason Milhander.
Adonai melech
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim V'Rav Chesed. Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving, and true, showing mercy to the 1,000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, and granting pardon.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Eloheinu Shemo. Gadlu l'Adonai iti, unromema Shemo yachdav. Adonai ישתחוו להקודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו להקודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
We may be seated. Our first aliyah this morning, traditionally and for many, many years, has been given to Harley Rockoff, our resident Kohen, our Kohen Gadol. Unfortunately, Harley continues his recuperation and is unable to be with us physically. Is he watching on the streaming? Yes. However, he is catching us thanks to the wonderful technology of the internet. And Harley, our thoughts and prayers go out to you and for continued healing. So, filling in for Harley, in keeping with the tradition of our first aliyah on Yom Kippur going to a Kohen, I am pleased and honored to invite Harley's son, Ron, to join us. Ya'amod Raphael ben Tzvi HaKohen la'aliyah Torah. We invite Ron Rockoff to do our aliyah for the reading over our Torah, as I invite Matthew Ham Metatiyahu ben Nachama V'Jon as our Torah reader for this morning.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Adonai Elohechem rashechem shiftechem ziknechem v'shotrechem kol ish Yisrael tabchem neshechem v'gercha Asher bekerev machanecha, mechote vetzecha, ad shoev meimecha, laovrecha bivrit, Adonai Elohecha uvalato, Asher Adonai Elohecha, koret imcha, Hayom.
You are standing, all of you, this day to before God's presence. Your leaders, your elders, your tribal heads, all of your people of Israel, from the youngest, from the children and the women, the strangers that are in your midst, as well from those who chop the wood to those who draw the water, to enter into a covenant with the Eternal One, your God, and to the oaths and promises that the Eternal One, your God, is making with you this day. In order that, oh no, this is where we ended. Yes.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Sorry. We invite for our second Torah reader, Micah Goldfarb, and for our second aliyah, Ya'amod Harav Aryeh ben Elchanan ve'etel aliyah Torah. We invite our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Goldmark. Yeah. Very good. Leave it with you.
Welcome to our annual reunion of the now ladies and gentlemen that I had the pleasure of conducting their bar bat mitzvah in years past. So those of you who were bar bat mitzvah under my, in quotes, supervision, if you'll please stand, even if you were 13 or even as an adult. Okay, great. Now you're going to help me, okay? So you better remember the blessing, all right? And those of you, frankly, that it was my pleasure to perform your wedding a few years ago, okay? Let me see. Was that true? All right. Before the blessing, it's my pleasure to join with you in a mazal tov to my colleague and friend Rabbi Goldfarb, who, as you know, is celebrating his 10th anniversary here as your spiritual leader. All right, you ready? Okay. Together, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Stay standing.
Lama'an Hakim Otecha Hayom Lo La'am Vehu Yihye Lecha Lelohim Ka'asher Diber Lach V'Ka'asher Nishba La'avotecha La'avraham Leyitzchak U'Yaakov V'lo Itchem Levadechem Anochia Koret Et Habrit Hazot Ve'et Ha'ala Hazot Ki Et Asher Yeshno Po Imanu Amed Hayom Lifnei Adonai Eloheinu Ve'et Asher Anenu Po Imanu Hayom Ko.
In order to enter into a covenant with you this day as a people, and the Eternal One will be for you as a God, just as God promised to your ancestors, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah. And not only with you alone is God entering into this covenant and the oaths and promises therein, but with those who are standing here with us this day, before the Eternal One, your God, as well as those who are not standing here with us this day.
It's great to be between Goldfarb, and Goldfarb. And Goldmark. Right. Let's join together. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Please, amen. Thank you.
We invite for our third reader this morning, Deborah Goldfarb, Devora Bat Avraham Vasara, for our Aliyah, for our third Torah reader. And for our third Aliyah, I would like to invite all of those who have joined with the people of Israel, those who were not born Jewish but have converted to Judaism, to stand with us so that we might honor you and your choice. Those who are Jews by choice, those who are converts amongst us, I invite you to please rise to share together this Aliyah. Okay, we join together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ki hamitzvah hazot asher anochi mitzavcha hayom. Lo niflati mimecha, velo rachoka hi, lo b'shamayim hi lemor. Mi ya'ale lanu hashamayma ve'yichachei halanu v'yashmianu ata ve'na'aseh ve'lo me'ever layam hi lemor. Mi ya'avar lanu El Aver Hayam, Veyichachei Halanu, Veyashmienu Ata, Venaasena. Ki Karov Alecha Hadavar Meod, Befika Uviovavcha La'asoto. Ra'e Natati Lefanecha Hayom, Et HaChayim, Ve'et HaTov, Ve'et HaMavet, Ve'et Hara.
For this mitzvah, these commandments that the Eternal One is making with you this day, are not too difficult for you, nor are they too far away for you. You do not need to send someone up to the heavens to get it, to say who will go up to the heavens and get it and bring it back to us so that we may do it. Nor is it across the sea that you should say who will go across the sea and get that mitzvah for us and bring it back for us so that we may do it. No, the matter is very close to you. It is in your mouth and in your hearts to do it. See, I place before you this day life and good, and death and evil. We join together in the blessing after the reading of the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And to those who have chosen to join with the people of Israel and the Jewish people, I say chazak, chazak, v'nit chazik. We continue to grow stronger through your presence and through your additions to the greater Jewish family. And together we will all become stronger. Thank you. And for our fourth and final aliyah and Torah reading, we invite our cantor, Ariel Goldfarb. Hechazan Ariel Rivka Batarav Moshe Udvora as our reader. And for our fourth aliyah, I would like to invite all of our teachers, our religious school teachers, and the madrichim, the aides, and the Hebrew read buddies who are here with us, as well as Jody Green and Dana Porter to rise, our co-chair of our education committee. If you are a teacher here in our religious school and our Hebrew lab, please rise as you are able. Thank you very much for your dedication to our students. And I now invite all teachers and educators who are here with us, those who are teaching in public, private schools and colleges, those who are principals of our schools or deans of our institutions of higher learning, if we have such in our midst. If you will also rise as you are able, we'd like to honor you, the educators, those who reach out and touch the future with this aliyah. We join together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Right there.
Amen. אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, ללכת בדרכיו, ולשמור מצוותיו וחוקותיו ומשפטיו, וחיית ורבית וברכך וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בארץ אשר אתה בשמה לרשתה. ואם יפנה לבבך ולא תשמע, ונידחת והשתחווית לאלוהים אחרים ועבדתם, הגדתי לכם היום כי אבות תאבדון, לא תאריכון ימים על האדמה, אשר אתה עובר את הירדן לבוא שמה לרשתה. הידותי בכם היום את השמיים ואת הארץ, החיים והמוות נתתי לפניך, הברכה והקללה, ובוחר בחיים למען תחיה אתה וזרעך. לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, לשמוע בקולו דבקבו, כי הוא חייך ואורך ימיך, לשבת האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיך, לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב, לתת להם.
And so I'm commanding you this day that you should love the Eternal One, your God, that you should walk in God's ways, and you should observe all of God's commandments and laws and judgments, that it will be well with you and that you will increase. And God, the Eternal One, your God, will bless you in the land that you are coming into to inherit. However, if your hearts should turn and you do not hearken to these words, and you indeed bow down and worship other gods and worship them, I swear to you by this day that you will surely perish. Your days will not be long upon the land that you are crossing the Jordan to go to inherit. I call as witnesses against you this day the heavens and the earth. Life and death God has placed before you, the blessing and the curse. Choose life, so that you and your descendants may live, to always love the Eternal One, your God, to hearken to God's voice, and to cling to God. For God is the length of your days on the earth that God is promising to give that God promised to give to your ancestors, to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, and to Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, to give to them. We share together in the blessing after the reading of our Torah, all of our educators. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Thank you, all your teachers, for your dedication, your commitment to students, and to the fine art of education. Thank you very much. Hearing the Torah read, reading from the Torah, is a mitzvah. It is an obligation. It is also an opportunity. We know that there are those in our families, our friends, who are unable to be present with us for the challenges that they are facing, challenges to their health. In addition, there are those who are present with us who are facing just such challenges. And so at this point, we include our special prayer, our Misha Berach, our prayer for hope and healing to all those who are facing challenges. You can find it in your prayer, in your Machzorim on page 273. Page 273. And I invite you during the musical interlude between the paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one. Thus we might bring them here into this space, into our hearts at this time. May all who are facing challenges to their health and their well-being, their bodies and their minds, may they be blessed on their journey, a journey that will bring them to a refuah shlema, to a return to the wholeness that they so much seek and desire. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen. We continue on page 274 as I invite us to rise as we are able, as we hold the Torah high for all to see and redress the Torah. We may be seated. There was a period of time when we were forbidden to read from our Torah. A couple thousand years ago, not that long in the Jewish sense of time. And thus began the tradition of reading selections from the prophets and the writings. An opportunity for us to keep alive the tradition of reading the Torah, even though we were reading not from the Torah. A key phrase or similar story that was recounted by the prophets would be shared as a thematic link to that week's Torah portion. Of course, in that days, before television, radio, newsprint, novels, the words that filled our mind were indeed the words of Torah. We had memorized much of the Torah. Starved for human mind stimulation, the human mind would very quickly have absorbed those words and phrases. Thus, when we heard a similar one being talked about or told or chanted, we would then be able to connect to that week's Torah portion. Thus, under the very noses of the officials who forbade us from reading the Torah, we nevertheless read the Torah. And we continue that tradition with the reading of the Haftarah, an additional reading of the Torah. This particular one, though, not from the Torah, but from our writings, about a woman, Hannah, the power of prayer and even more sadly, the judgment of those who were not yet used to the idea of praying with words. Animal sacrifices were the way of doing things at the time Hannah's story is taught to us. Hannah comes to teach us the value of verbal prayer and the importance of speaking words of the heart. I invite Dr. Bob Harris to lead us in the chanting of our Haftarah for this Yom Kippur morning. Haftarah about Hannah and her desires and her offerings of prayers.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzah b'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habacher b'torah u'Moshe avdo Yisrael amo u'b'niyei hamet v'tzedek.
And Doctor, if I might interrupt, I apologize. Hannah was Rosh Hashanah. I've gotten my holidays confused. Today's Haftarah comes from the book of Isaiah. Completely different, but reminding us of the type of fast that God so desires. A challenge to us not only thousands of years ago when Isaiah was speaking, but a contemporary challenge to us as well. Where do we find the holy acts? How do we define those holy acts? And indeed, what are the holy acts that we are called upon to do? Isaiah addresses that in this Haftarah. Now, Doctor, thank you very much.
Rabbi, a prophet is a prophet.
A prophet is a prophet.
Kerahav agaron al tasoch kashofar harem kolecha v'haged li'ami pisham ulevet Yaakov chatotam v'oti yam yedeshun v'dat derachei yechbatzun כגוי אשר צדקה עשה ומשפט אלוהיו לא תעזם. ישאלוני משפטי צדק קרבת אלוהים יחפצו. למה צמנו ולא ראית עינינו נפשנו ולא תדע. הן ביום צומכם תמצאו חפץ וכל עטפיכם תנקשו. הן לריב ומצות תצומו ולהכות באגרוף רשע. לא תצומו כיום להשמיע במרון קולכם. החזה יהיה צום אבחרהו יום ענות אדם נפשו הלכוב קדמון ראשו ושק ואפר יציע הלזה תקרת צום ויום רצון לאדוני הלא זה צום אבחרהו פתח חרצובות רשם התר עקודות מותו ושלח רצוצים חופשים וכל מותו תנתקו. הלא פרס ורעב לחמך ועניים מרודים תביא בית כי תראה ארום וכיסיתו ומבשרך לא תתעלם. אז יבחך בשחר אורך ורוחתך מהרה תצמח והלך לפניך צדקך כבוד אדוני יספך. אז תקרא
ואדוני יענם תשבם ויאמר הנני אם תסיר מתוכך מותם שלח אצבע ודבר אבן ותפק לרעב נפשך ונפש נענה תשביע וזרח בחושך אורך ואפלתך כצהריים ונחך אדוני תמיד והשביע בצחצחות נפשך ועצמותיך יחליץ והיית כגן רובע וכמוצא מים אשר לא יחשבו מימיו ובנו ממך חלקות עולם ומוסדי תעבדו תקומם וקרא לך גודל פרץ משבב נתיבות לשבת אם תשיב משבת רגליך עשור חפצך ביום קרשי וקראת לשבת עונג לקדוש אדוני מכובד וכיבדתו מעשות דרכיך ממצוא חפצך ודבר דבר אז תתענג על אדוני והרחבתיך על במתי הארץ ואכלתיך נחלת יעקב אביך כי פי אדוני דיבר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל העולמים צדיק בכל הדורות האל הנאמן האמת ועושה המדבר מקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק על התורה והעבודה והנביאים ביום הכיפורים הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו למחילה ולסליחה ולכפרה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מלכים וסולח לעוונותינו ולעוונות עמות בישראל ומעביר אשמתנו בכל שנה ושנה מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ביום הכיפורים.
Amen v'amen and yasher koach, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Isaiah challenges us with these words. Is this the day of fast I desire, says God, a day to afflict body and soul, bowing your head like a reed, covering yourself with sackcloth and ashes? Do you call this a fast, a day worthy of the favor of Adonai? Is not this the fast God desires, to break the bonds of injustice and remove the heavy yoke, to let the oppressed go free and release all those who are enslaved? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and to find homes for the homeless in your midst and to never neglect your own flesh and blood? Then indeed shall your light burst forth like the dawn. Our service continues on page 284.
Eternal Presence, who blessed our mothers and fathers, bless this holy congregation, a house of study, prayer, and righteous deeds. Together we give thanks for our leaders, those who learn, teach, and uphold the Torah, inspiring others to learn, teach, and uphold the Torah. Those who do the sacred work of building our community, may their service bring them joy, fulfillment, and purpose, and may go from strength to strength. For our members, the diverse in age and interest and background, Jews by birth, Jews by choice, and those of other faiths who join with us, all who offer their time and talent, their love and commitment. For all who come here on the holy day of Yom Kippur to share this search for meaning and renewal, your presence is a blessing, your friendship a gift. May the spirit of peace, dignity, and respect live within these walls, inspiring us to care for one another with compassion, and may we be a source of goodness, light, and healing for the world. May the one who blessed the generations before us bless us. We stand together this day, one congregation joined with all Jewish communities of the world through our prayers on this day of atonement. Let us renew ourselves for the year ahead. Let us honor the precious legacy that is ours. May heaven grant redemption and grace, kindness and compassion, length of days and ample sustenance, divine support, bodily health, and spiritual enlightenment, and offspring who will live and endure and never abandon the study of Torah. To our teachers and rabbis of holy communities in the land of Israel and the diaspora, to our religious and communal leaders, spiritual mentors and guides, to all their students and the students of their students, and to all who engage in the study of Torah. May the sovereign of the universe bless them all, prolong their lives with fulfillment of days and length of years. May they be delivered from all trouble and saved from serious illness. May our heavenly teacher be their help in every occasion and all times. And let us say, Amen. God of holiness, we hear your message. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. God of freedom, we hear your charge. Proclaim liberty throughout the land. Inspire us through your teachings and commandments to love and uphold our precious democracy. Let every citizen take responsibility for the rights and freedom we cherish. Let each of us be an advocate for justice, an activist for liberty, a defender of dignity, and let us champion the values that make our nation a haven for the persecuted, a beacon of hope among the nations. May our actions reflect compassion for all people within our borders and abroad. May our leaders and officials embody the vision of our founders to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote for general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. We pray for courage and conscience as we aim to support our country's highest values and aspirations, the hard-won rights that define us as people, the responsibilities that they entail. We pray for all who serve our country with selfless devotion in peace and in war, from the fields of battle to clinics and classrooms, from government to the grassroots. All those whose noble deeds and sacrifice benefit our nation and our world. We are grateful for the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that our founders ascribed to you, our Creator. We pray for their wisdom and moral strength, that we may be guardians for these rights for ourselves and for the sake of all people, now and forever. Continue on page 288. Avinu, you who are above all nations, states, and peoples, Rock of Israel, the one who has saved us and preserved us in life, bless the state of Israel, first flowering of our redemption. Be her loving shield, a shelter of lasting peace. Guide her leaders and advisors by your lights of truth. Instruct them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who build and protect our holy land. Deliver them from danger. Crown their efforts with success. Grant peace to the land, lasting joy in all her people. And together we say,
Thank you very much, David, for leading us in those prayers. Our service continues on page 290 as we return the Torah to the Ark. Yihalalu et Shem Adonai ki nishkav shemo levado. All praise God's name, for God's name alone is truly sublime. I invite us to rise as we are able. We may be seated. Our service continues on page 293. Because I was angry, because I didn't think, because I was exhausted and on edge because I'd been drinking, because I can be mean, because I was reckless and selfish, because I was worried about money, because my marriage was dead, because other people were doing it, because I thought I could get away with it, because I did something wrong, because I'm in pain, because I wish I could undo it, because I hurt him, because I lost her trust, because I let them down, because I was self-destructive, because I was foolish, because I'm ashamed, because that's not who I am, because that's not who I want to be, because I want to be forgiven. God, bring down my walls of defensiveness and self-righteousness. Help me to stay in humility. Please give me the strength to do what is right. We continue on page 297. In a culture striving for permissiveness, the self-critical mood of Yom Kippur strikes a note of jarring counterpoint. The tradition's answer is that guilt, in its right time and place, can be healthy. It is crucial, this guilt, crucial to our conscience. Moral maturity lies in a willingness to recognize one's own sins, not to lay upon oneself a universal or destructive guilt, a guilt that cripples all and focuses on nothing specific. Concrete acts can be corrected. Bad patterns can be overcome. Against the brokenness of guilt and the isolation of sin, Yom Kippur offers the wholeness of living, the oneness of community. To this end, there is repeated confession of sins on Yom Kippur. The sins are listed alphabetically to cover the range of human behavior, but more importantly, to jog our memory. Compassionately enough, the confessions are in the plural form. We have sinned. Everyone confesses all the sins, and each individual applies the appropriate category to herself or to himself. On page 296, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, tavo lefanecha tefilatenu v'al titalam mitachnutenu. Our God and God of all the generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, though, we have stumbled, we have strayed, we have done wrong. Let us rise as we are able. As we read together at the bottom of the page, of these sins we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely, we are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey, we abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes, we are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray.
Ay, 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 Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu,
Gazalnu,
Dibanu Dofi,
Dibanu Dofi,
Ay, 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 Hevinu,
Hevinu,
Vehir Shanu,
Vehir Shanu,
Zadnu,
Zadnu,
Chamastu,
Chamastu,
Tafalnu Shaker,
Tafanu Shaker,
Ay, 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 Yatsnura,
Yahasura,
Kizavnu,
Kizatu,
Latsnu,
Lasnu,
Maradnu,
Maranu,
Niatnu,
Nihatnu,
Sararnu,
Saranu,
Avinu,
Avinu,
Pashanu,
Pashanu,
Tsararnu,
Saranu,
Kishinu Oref,
Kishinu Oref,
Ay, 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 Rashanu,
Rashanu,
Shichatnu,
Shichatu,
Tiavnu,
Tianu,
Tainu,
Tainu,
Titanu,
We may be seated. Our service continues on page 299. For the sin we committed against you through evading and avoiding because we could not face the truth. For our flight into hypocrisy and deception because we did not dare to speak it. For the facts we dissembled and all we glossed over. For the excuses we made. For feeding our bodies and starving our souls. For interfering with the souls of others and neglecting their needs. For shifting our responsibilities. For reproaches and recriminations. For our foolishness, our folly, and false standards. For seeing these things only in others and never in ourselves. For our complacency, which blinds us, and our self-righteousness, which lessens us. For calculating kindness and measuring out pity. For charity that is cold and prayers without feeling. For withholding our love. For the appeals that we ignored and the people whom we refused. For the affection which died and our lives that became bitter. For the visions which faded, the ideals we neglected, and the opportunities we lost. We read together. For the fear of change and renewal, and our unbelief. For saying prayers aloud, but refusing to listen. For being our own worst enemy. We continue on page 301. I need to speak these words aloud and to know that the universe hears them. I get caught in old patterns and paradigms. I can be stubborn and hard-headed. In the last year, I have missed the mark, maybe more than I want to admit. Forgive me, O source of all being, for the sin I have sinned before you. We read together. By allowing my body to be an afterthought too often and too easily, by not walking, running, leaping, climbing, or dancing, although I am able, by eating in my car and at my desk, mindlessly and without blessing, by not embracing those who needed it, and not allowing myself to be embraced, by not praising everybody's beauty and our quirks and imperfections, by letting my emotions run roughshod over the needs of others, by poking at sources of hurt like a child worrying a sore tooth, by revealing my heart before those who neither wanted or needed to see it, by hiding love out of fear of rejection instead of giving love freely, by dwelling on what's internal when the world is desperate for healing, by indulging in intellectual argument without humility or consideration, by reading words of vitriol, cultivating hot indignation, by eschewing intellectual discomfort that might prod me into growing, by living in anticipation and letting anxiety rule me, by accepting defeatist thinking and the comfortable ache of despair, by not being awake and grateful despite uncountable blessings, by not being sufficiently gentle with my actions or with my language, by not being pliant and flexible, but obstinate, stark, and unbending, by not being generous with my time, with my words, or with my being, by not being kind to everyone who crosses my wandering path. For all these, eternal source of forgiveness, know myself to be pardoned. Help me feel in my bones that I am forgiven. Remind me that I am always ready with you. We continue on page 305. We focused inward, narrowing our vision. We were preoccupied with ourselves. We turned our backs on the poor and the defenseless. We were contemptuous of the weak. We tolerated violence against children, neglect of the old, exploitation of the innocent. We told ourselves there was nothing we could do. We wasted the resources of the earth. We denied our own responsibility and put it out of our minds. We kept silent when we should have spoken out. We gave in to cynicism and to despair. We sought entertainment instead of enlightenment. We were lazy, indifferent, and callous. We forgave ourselves far too easily for our own failures. We forgot that we always have a choice. On page 306, V'al kulam Eloha slichot, slach lanu, machal lanu, kaper lanu. We read together. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, and lead us to atonement.
Oh
having acknowledged our communal faults, our communal mistakes, the ways in which we have betrayed our true selves, the ways in which we let ourselves and others down. Having done that in the plural, it is time for us to think as individuals, to look at our lives individually with the light of righteousness. On page 308. We stand together this day to confess our sins. But these moments now are mine. In the privacy of my heart, I acknowledge the wrongs I have done, pain I have given, intentionally and unintentionally. My thoughtless, my careless, my heartless actions, and my failure to do what is right. We continue with a silent confession.
The sand and the
Our service continues on page 312. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov taught, always look for the good in yourself. And remember, joy is not incidental to your spiritual quest. It is vital. For so it is written, you will go out with joy and be led forth in peace. Focus on the good in yourself. Take joy in what is good, and you will be led forth from inner darkness. We continue responsively. Let us affirm the good we have done. Let us acknowledge our acts of healing and repair. For the good we have done through acts of generosity and compassion. For the good we have done by honoring our parents with care and respect. For the good we have done through acts of forgiveness and reconciliation. For the good we have done through the work of our hands and by serving others. For the good we have done by housing the homeless, feeding the hungry, and welcoming the stranger. For the good we have done through thoughtful and encouraging words. For the good we have done by strengthening our Jewish community. All these have brought light and healing into the world. May these acts inspire us to renew our efforts in the year to come. We continue on page 317. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hear our call, Adonai Eloheinu, and may we hear yours. In our apologies and confessions, in the meditations of our heart, in the accountings of our soul. Hear our call, and may we hear yours. In words of counsel and consolation, in the silence of one who listens, in the strength of a hand that upholds. We read together, hear our call, Adonai Eloheinu, as we strive to hear yours on this day of the heart, this day of repair and healing.
Amen.
It's always awkward down here looking up and seeing only corners and music stands. Thank you, choir, for your beautiful music. Thank you, Cantor, for all of your hard work in getting all this music pulled together. Dr. Irwin, thank you so much for the arrangements you wrote, and most importantly, for being a stalwart accompanist in our congregation. To members of Brotherhood, thank you. A fabulous opening day breakfast, by the way, our religious school students. I believe you have found that pretty good, huh? Chocolate chip pancakes. Yeah, wow. Never had those as a kid. Thank those of you who are joining us from afar. Thank you, Phil, for running our online streaming. I think I forgot to notice the text from yesterday. People from West Texas. Where was that? Where else were people coming from? Viewing us anyway. From all over, but especially from West Texas and other kinds of places. North Dakota. United Kingdom. Welcome our friends from across the pond. We have a character in our tradition. Our Talmud tells the story of Nahum Gamzo. He's called the Nahum Gamzo because his phrase for everything is Gamzo Latova. This too will be for the best, no matter what it is that befalls him. Gamzo Latova. And so he's known as Nahum Gamzo. This is what he says. He was once sent with jewels to bring to the Roman emperor tribute from the Jewish community in hopes of winning some architectural favor, a little work on the aqueduct, some street repair. In the days before property taxes, you would go to the emperor with a gift. And so he was sent off with a beautiful wooden box in which were a bunch of gems that the community had collected, and off he went. He stops for a night at an inn, and while there, others hear of his mission, and some of them, being somewhat unscrupulous, indeed a group of thieves, realize what he is carrying and figure, this is our opportunity. And so while Nahum was sleeping, they took the gems out of his wooden chest and replaced it with a rusty, flaky plate. A metal plate in the days, that's what we ate off of. There it was in his box. The next morning, Nahum sets off with his rusty plate, not knowing it's a rusty plate. He gets to the emperor's palace, brings in his box of tribute to the palace, and says to the emperor, on behalf of the Jews of my town, I bring you this tribute and gift in hope that your highness will feel so moved as to perhaps address some of our concerns. He picks up, opens the box, glances in, doesn't see the gems, sees this tattered, banged up, and rusted metal plate, and thinks to himself, Gamzo Latova, this too will be for the best. He picks up the plate and holds it up. The emperor seated in his throne, behind which lights pouring in from the beautiful outside sun shine on the plate. The rusted plate in the light took on a golden appearance. The dings and batters and tears and holes reflected light as almost it were gems. The emperor, touched by the generosity, says, oh my goodness, this is truly a marvelous tribute. Please carefully place that back in the box. I wish to stow it very carefully in the royal archives and in our treasury. Please be careful. What I am touched, deeply, deeply moved. Nahum does so, presents the box to the guards, who quickly scurry it off to the treasury. Thereupon the emperor agrees to address some of the concerns of the community and some of the infrastructure repair so needed. To reward Nahum Gamzo for his visit, the emperor gives Nahum Gamzo a written pledge that the empire will indeed address these concerns and to afford this man safe journey back to his home. With this pledge in hand, Nahum sets off for his return journey, stopping again the night at the inn. The thieves are surprised to see Nahum walk in the door. And when they hear of the permission and the tribute that Nahum received in this document to go back home safely unfettered by any obstruction, and that the community would indeed be, the needs of the community would indeed be addressed, the thieves were convinced the emperor not only must be crazy, but must be totally blind. If this is what they give this man for a rusted plate, imagine what we will get when we present these gems to the emperor. Scurrying off so they could be there first thing in the morning, they do so. In front of the palace room, in front of the emperor, Your Highness, we have traveled from afar to present to you our tribute and our gifts to you, where they open and show all of the gems that they have brought. The emperor was impressed. Indeed, these are truly worthy tributes. Thank you very, very much. I am touched by your generosity and wish to give you a gift as well. The guards bring out a gold box. Present the gold box to the thieves, who quickly bowing scurry out. As they rush off into the woods, discarding the gold box, they pull out an old wooden box. They open up, and there's a rusted metal plate. Gamzo Latova. This too will work out for the best. We read in this morning's Torah portion that God has set before us life and death, the blessing and the curse. And we often think of this phrase and structure as, on the one hand, there's the blessing, and on the other hand, there is the curse. And we view them as being two separated things. But that's not what the Torah says. The Torah says, I have set before you this day life and death. I have set before you this day blessing and curse. Abraham Lincoln wrote, we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can be grateful that thorn bushes have roses. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard and so difficult for us to express gratitude? Bachia Ibn Pekuda wrote 1,000 years ago, people as a rule fail to express gratitude because of their insatiable longing for pleasures, deprive them of the sense of gratitude. We always want more. And in that process of wanting more, we recognize what we don't have. And so therefore, we don't truly appreciate what we do have. Because there's always somebody living in a bigger house, driving a newer car, wearing more fashionable clothes, nicer shoes. And so in our insatiable appetite for wanting more, we are deprived of showing gratitude for what we have. He continues, or because they are spoiled by good fortune. So we live in homes, and so we have food in the cupboard. We have clothes to wear. We have a car to drive. And so we fail to show gratitude because we have become, like teenagers, somewhat spoiled. Or, he writes, they are dissatisfied and disappointed in their expectation of life. We fail to show gratitude because life is unfair. This is the way it is. I always am the one who suffers. I'm the one who always has to do more. I'm the one who always has to sacrifice. Because of our disappointment with the way life goes, we fail to recognize that we have life. We fail to recognize the blessings in our lives. Bachia concludes, this results in many good things left unenjoyed, and the happiness to be had becomes tainted because we do not recognize the good in it, or we do not recognize the value. Later this afternoon, we are going to read the story of Jonah, the most ungrateful, successful prophet ever. Think about it for the moment, those of us who remember the story. Jonah is asked to go to a place of non-Jews, Nineveh, and to tell them, God doesn't like how you're behaving, get your act together. This is the mission of prophets. This is what they do. They speak to kings, they speak to queens, they speak to royalty, they speak to the common people. Even Isaiah spoke today to the people of his time. You're busy fasting and you're busy wearing sackcloth and ashes, and yet you treat each other horribly, you have cruelty in your hearts, you are trampling over the courtyards and the holidays, and you expect God to listen to you. And Isaiah was preaching to the Jews, who, by the way, didn't listen to Isaiah then either. Jonah has to go to a place of non-Jews. A stranger walks in the middle of the city and says, in 3 days, God is going to destroy the place unless you get your act together. And what do the people do? Immediately, oh my God, we've been misbehaving? This is terrible. Quickly, let us repair our ways. And they change. That is the goal of every prophet. How does Jonah feel about this? Was he grateful? Oh, they listened to me. Oh, look what they did. Oh, way to go, people of Nineveh. No. He's disappointed. God, why did you send me here in the first place? I didn't want to come here. These people, I knew they were, this is horrible. I'm through with this. This is a bad thing. Goodbye. The most successful prophet, and even in that success, he cannot find a way to show gratitude. Dr. Robert Emmons of the University of California in Davis wrote, "The evidence is cultivating that gratitude, the evidence that is being cultivated that proves that gratitude, a sense of gratitude, is beneficial, is overwhelming." Studies have been done for the past decades, studying how gratitude has changed people's physiology. Their cholesterol is lowered. Their blood pressure is lowered. They have less illnesses during the year. They seem more resilient to the challenges, all from a standpoint of gratitude. From gratitude. And unlike other positive emotions, this gratitude has a way of spilling over because it is contagious. If you are grateful, the person next to you becomes more grateful. It is a contagious virus and a worthy one to spread. Of course, in the immediacy of the disaster, I don't know how anyone could show any kind of gratitude. I think of what's going on in the Carolinas and the flooding and the loss of lives and the loss of homes. I can't imagine for a moment that people who have been unable to return to their homes or found their homes flooded and washed away are going to be like Nahum and say, oh, this too will be for the best. That's inhumane, and that is inhuman to think that in the very midst of the trial, of the tragedy, that there is a way to express gratitude in that moment. I think that's asking too much. We have a right to, if you will pardon the expression, bitch and complain when bad things happen. We do. And I think we should. And I think indeed we need to. We need to vent that. The heavens need to hear those words. I need to say those words. We need to express those feelings of disappointment and betrayal when things go wrong, when things don't work out the way we plan. But there is a narcissistic danger for us to hold on to that and to only see that. Because while the floods are taking place, there are shelters for these people to be in. There is food, and there is water, and there will be a rebuilding. So for the moment, allow ourselves and allow them that opportunity to vent at the betrayal that has taken place. But that cannot take root. God has set before us the blessing and the curse, and it occurs at the same time. It occurs at the same time. Maya Angelou the great poet, wrote, "There was a time when I was in a state of utter despair, immersed in guilt over promises made on which I had not delivered. I went to my vocal coach, Fred Wilkerson, weeping copiously. He asked, 'What's the matter?' And I responded, 'I'm going crazy. I am almost on the brink of suicide.' He offered me a legal-sized lined yellow pad and a pen and said, 'Write down your blessings.' Furious that he didn't understand my condition, I shouted, 'Don't talk nonsense. I'm telling you, I'm going crazy.' He said, 'Write down that you could hear me say the words, write down, and think of the millions who cannot hear the cries of their babies or the sweet words of their beloveds or the alarm that could help them seek safety. Write down that you can see this yellow pad of paper and think of the millions of people on this planet who cannot see the smiles of their growing children or the delight on the faces of their beloveds or the colors of a sunrise and the softness of twilight.' He said, 'Write down that you know how to write. Write down that you know how to read.' Wilkie, as he was known, gave me that lesson in 1955, Maya wrote. 55 years later, I've written 31 books, essays, plays, lyrics for songs, all on yellow pads. I remain in an attitude of gratitude. Even on this Yom Kippur, as we are fasting and walking by food in the foyer. You don't know how tough that is. No, actually, you do. There's an opportunity for us to be grateful because we have this day to initiate change. As a former hospice chaplain, in visiting with many who were dying and being with them in their moment of death, there is a collection of regrets that have been expressed by those who have come to the end of their lives. And those regrets aren't, "I wish I had worked more," aren't, "I wish I had spent more time away from family." Those are not the regrets they expressed. They express things like, "I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I had let myself be happier. I wish I had the courage to express my true self. I wish I had lived a life truly to my dreams instead of what others expected me to be." And so on this day of at-one-ment, on this day of accepting the oneness of the blessing and the curse, the oneness of life and of death, here are some ways that we might begin to instill a sense of gratitude in all of our lives. Perhaps think about keeping a journal. At the end of the day, scribble down the 3 or 5 things that you were grateful for about that day. Because every night we turn on the news, and there is no gratitude expressed on the news. And that's not what we should be putting and storing away in the boxes in our minds. Keep it simple. A smile, a sunrise, a laughter. Number 2, express your gratitude. Take time to say thank you. To say thank you to a stranger. A thank you to the cashier as you are purchasing your groceries. There we go, food again. A thank you to the person who you have encountered, who opened the door for you. Or better yet, hold the door open for someone else. Tell a friend thank you. Thank you for something that friend did. Number 3, focus on what's right about the situation, not what's wrong. There's lots of things wrong with every situation. We can always focus on the wrong things because we're not perfect. And so therefore, look hard enough, you can find it. And I make it easier for everybody to find something wrong. There are mistakes that get made. Don't focus on what's wrong about the situation. Focus on what's right. The beautiful flowers, the ferns on the bima, the beautiful music with which we celebrated this Yom Kippur, the beautiful temple that we are able to worship in, thanks to our house committee and the repairs that have been done. Think about what's right about this situation. I am Jewish. I am here. I am with my loved ones. I'm with my friend. I'm with my community. Yes, service in the restaurant might be poor, but you're lucky to be there to have money to be able to eat. Yes, traffic might be terrible, but you have more time to listen to that audio book or your favorite music, or just be with your thoughts. Look for what's right in the situation. Number 4. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth, all right, and in the morning. And think about something that you've done very well. Something you've done recently. Yes, reward yourself. It's not narcissistic to do that every once in a while. It is if every time in the mirror that's all you're thinking about. But every once in a while, we need that encouragement. We need to know that we can do things well. I got my shoes on the right foot, on the correct feet. I put them on after I put on my pants. 2 bullseyes, right there. But then, with those feelings of gratitude, we must remember the words of John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. We must live a life of gratitude. That is the antidote to what we are facing as a society. The extreme narcissism that has entered our political world, the extreme narcissism that has entered into the lives of people we know, our own as well. The only antidote is to live with gratitude. The blessing and the curse have been set before us. Will we have the strength and the courage to acknowledge with gratitude, the blessing amidst the curses in our lives? Yom Kippur awaits our answer.
Watch us where
stars go out each night.
And o'er ha'ava, lezohat vila.
Let this be our prayer.
Lelibi olam.
When shadows fill our day,
Lead us to a place.
guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Simba olam shalom tov uvracha. Olam emet shalom mishpat v'tzedek. Merachamim al kol yoshvei beitecha. Ben goyei haolam shalom aleinu. O Av harachamim,
We ask that life be
rachem
kind
aleinu.
and watch us from above.
Ten lanu
We
tikva.
hope each soul will find
Shalom ve'ahava.
another soul to love.
Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Anima amin, be'emunah shlema.
We come to the end of our Yom Kippur morning worship. The liturgy is structured as such that this is a day of worship services. No, you don't have to stay all day. However, those who would like to, we will be taking a look at a variety of texts and ways to understand gratitude, hopefully ways that will help us build on that attitude of gratitude within our hearts. We'll just circle some chairs in the back of the social hall. Those who would like to stay with just quiet contemplation with the machzor, we'll close the wall so that you may have this space here in the sanctuary as an opportunity to just meditate on the day, on the liturgy. We regather again at 2:30 for the afternoon service, followed by the Yizkor service, followed by the Ne'ilah concluding service. Our choir will be with us for the Yizkor service. And we have some wonderful new melodies for our Ne'ilah service. Our cantor has been digging up some lovely Sephardic melodies for us today, and we will have a chance to share those during our Ne'ilah service. And so the blessing and the curse has been set before us this day. Our ability to change, our ability to grow, our ability to make mistakes, our ability to learn from their mistakes. free will and the ability to make a choice, the blessing and the curse, life and death in every moment. May we have the strength and the courage to, as our Torah tells us, Becharta v'chayim, to choose the life, to find the blessing in every moment. And may we fill our hearts with gratitude to become a source of good in the world around us. Ken yehi ratzonenu. So may it be our will. Good Yantiv, everyone. The words, the music, the melodies were so very powerful today. Very moving. Very, very moving. Thank you.
See you in a couple hours.
Before you